Tell me what you would like to be when you get older.
I would like to be a judge someday.
I want to be a sheriff.
A police officer? Why do you want to be a police officer?
Because I want to help people.
I want to become a nurse practitioner working in the Veterans Hospital.
Going to other countries and just giving out food and everything.
To help make the earth have peace.
Time and time again,
A great mom.
when I ask children in foster care
be a nurse.
who are waiting to be adopted what they want to be when they grow up,
To help out people's lives.
Motivational speaker.
I want to be a firefighter.
they tell me how much they want to help other people.
I'd like to help people to change their feelings, maybe to feel better about themselves.
They want to give back because they're grateful for those who've helped them.
I have a master's of clinical social work. Ironic.
I'm going to become a foster parent when I become older too.
And because they want to spare other children the loss they've experienced in their own lives.
You're not alone. People do know how you feel.
I would like to mentor kids in foster care to keep them on the right road.
They have a tremendous longing for that which they no longer have, a family.
I came into foster care when I was 8 years old.
And has it been difficult moving around?
Yeah.
We don't often associate the term with foster care, but children who've had their parental rights terminated, for all intents and purposes, are orphans, legal orphans.
My grandmother passed away right before my 10th birthday, and she was my guardian because my mom was too sick to take care of me.
For many different reasons, they're children and teens growing up under state care without parents, some just temporarily residing in foster care until they can be reunited with their families. Others, like the ones you're hearing from right now, have been permanently removed from their birth parents. In the United States, there are nearly 500,000 kids living in foster care. Nearly 100,000 of them are waiting to be adopted right now. Many separated not only from the love of their parents, but also their siblings, their schools, and their friends. Each child's story is individual. Some will remain in foster care for days, others for months or years.
I've been in there all my life, so.
American kids languishing in a system of care with the state as their parents, instead of being loved and nourished at home in a family.
I would like to have somebody that loves me and cares for me.
Every year, 23,000 of these children become adults and leave the system without families.
I just want to finish school, be able to build a family, and do what the rest of normal people do.
While they have every intention to put their past behind them, without parents, without positive adult connections, most times they face an almost impossible journey. When we see the homeless, the addict, the incarcerated, or the sex trafficked, many of them were once these children, and their children are often destined to repeat the foster care cycle. This is an American crisis that affects us all. In Broward County in South Florida, the fight is on to change that. Agencies and individuals are working together to provide guidance and support and to spread a message that everyone can make a positive difference in the lives of these kids. Together, we can change their destiny into a life of love with a forever family.
My name is T-H-O-E.
One of the biggest myths about children in foster care is that they've done something wrong to be there.
There are just a lot of stereotypes, but it's not really like that.
In fact, it's just the opposite.
These children are not bad. They are not there because they did anything wrong. They're there because their parents did something wrong, or their parents weren't capable of taking care of them.
Most kids in foster care are truly trying to look to get their life straight.
Making the best of their situation and doing what they can.
I do work, I study, I don't mind doing chores.
I think schoolwork is more important than sports.
All A's, 1 B.
I like math, science, and
because they're very interesting. They're not bad people. They're just people that need more care in their life, and they're actually really good, and some are intelligent.
When celebrity chef Richard Ingram met Zaria at one of our Forever Family shoots, he got a taste of how smart and amazing children in foster care are.
She wants love. She wants attention, you know. And I think that any family that doesn't come in and bring her in is doing her a disservice. The world won't even know who she is or what she can bring to the world. You never know. She could be the next big scientist. She could be the president. She can do whatever. But if she doesn't have that chance, you know, then it's a waste.
Tell me what adoption means for you.
A caring family that will be able to guide me in the right path and take good care of me and do more for me than what my mother was able to do.
They really should get to know a kid because everyone in foster care is not the same.
To better understand who these children are, here's a look at how they end up in the system in the first place. For most, it starts with a phone call.
Florida Abuse Hotline.
There's something coming on here.
Reports of abuse, abandonment, neglect.
Florida has passed a law that everybody is a mandatory reporter when it comes to noticing or witnessing or have knowledge of child abuse.
Getting them out of harm's way, but putting them in foster care.
The numbers are dramatic. We're typically seeing at least 100 kids and up to 140 kids a month coming into foster care in Broward County.
I know how it feels when you're taken out of your home. Also because it's not your fault.
It's hard being a kid, being a child that's in a foster home or in a group home waiting to be placed with the family.
It's a process. So we first discussed the removal. Then the law requires for us to give the parents an opportunity to rehabilitate themselves. If they don't complete their tasks, if they re-abuse or in situations of drug addiction aren't able to address their drug habit, then the court will consider a termination of parental rights.
Only then do these children become available for adoption, with some running out of time.
It's very rough for them. It is often a path to homelessness.
But what if these children could find parents before becoming adults? How many lives could be changed? What if all those people out there wanting to adopt children were introduced to all these children waiting to be adopted? For more than 20 years, I've worked to raise awareness and support for these kids, first as a shelter volunteer, then finding my way to the support and embrace of NBC6 South Florida, always believing that if more people were aware of this crisis in our own backyard, they would step forward and help. And that's just what happened.
And I have a Forever Family.
Forever Families is an incredibly important program. It gets the word out there of these kids that sometimes are hard to place or hard to find families with, and lets them know that there are so many deserving children that are still in the foster care system that need and are deserving and want a loving home.
By partnering with NBC6 and the Children's Services Council of Broward County, we've made a lasting impact on the lives of thousands of children so far by featuring their stories in our weekly television segments.
Forever Family would have never really come to fruition if it wasn't for the Children's Services Council of Broward County.
I think it's just been amazing the way Forever Family has stepped up and demonstrated the needs of our children and helped meet their needs wherever they may be.
I just think Forever Family is meant to be here because these kids need a home and these kids need a loving family.
The partnership has been amazing. It makes me so proud every time I see one of the segments air, focusing on one of these children.
Cindy Ehrenberg-Seltzer is committed to making sure all children in Broward County have the chance at a productive life as the president and CEO of the Children's Services Council of Broward County. The agency, put in place by voters, funds hundreds of programs in our community that support and protect the interests of local children.
Good job.
It's a turning point in my life. Just a year ago, I was homeless, living in the streets, and now I took my GED test already, and I'm just waiting for my results so I can go to the Navy.
We look for things that will keep children on the right path, and if they happen to get off on the wrong path, get them back so that they can reach adulthood in a healthy, productive way.
When it involves children in the dependency system or children at risk of coming into the dependency system, the Children's Services Council of Broward County does more than any other children's taxing district anywhere else in the state of Florida or perhaps even in the United States.
In addition to serving on the Children's Services Council of Broward County's board, Emilio Benitez is also the CEO of ChildNet, the private agency overseeing all foster care in Broward and Palm Beach counties.
I'm very proud of the fact that Broward and Palm Beach counties lead the state in the recruitment and maintenance and of foster homes and foster parents in the state.
A former public defender, Emilio has a very personal connection to his life's work.
There's a picture. It's 92 years old. It's of my father. He's 5 years old. He's in his orphanage. The face on that little boy turned out to be my father. Is the same face I see every day. My father carried with him forever until he died. That scar, that trauma.
Today we know the impact that not having a family can have on a child.
The statistics for kids that are older and don't find that forever family or don't find that permanent guardianship are really very sad.
More than 1 in 5 will become homeless. Almost half never receive a high school diploma, and fewer than 3% will earn a college degree. At the age of 24, only half are employed, with 1 in 4 involved in the justice system within 2 years of leaving foster care. With welfare and Medicaid costs, the costs of incarceration, lost wages, and more, it's estimated the outcome differences between young people transitioning from foster care and the general population is costing us nearly $8 billion every year.
There's a lot of concern that we want to make sure that we find that connection, that permanent, forever connection for our kids that will really give them the success that they need.
I seem like I'm ready to go out in the real world, but to be honest, I'm really not, and I feel like everybody should have a family by their side when they go out by themselves. I'd rather just have a family that I know that can come back when I come from the Air Force. I can go back and visit.
Really don't want to see a child that's gone through trauma, been abused, been taken from their home, then be further abused by a life on the street.
And I don't want to follow the same footsteps that my family followed by sending their child to the system and beating their child.
In fact, 3 out of 4 girls in foster care get pregnant before they turn 21, and many of those babies end up in foster care too.
Oftentimes, in many of our situations, we've had children who are products of the system. Their parents were either in the system and then aged out or got pregnant while they were in foster care.
So we know that it is so important to every child to have a loving home.
Make sure that we identify those kids that are available for adoption and give them an opportunity to put them on TV and publicize the absolute urgent need, not only for foster parents, for adoptive parents.
And so what we're able to do is break that chain, break that cycle.
What would be my perfect family?
Any kind, loving family would do.
What we're looking for in adoptive parents are people ready to love, ready to be patient, and ready to help a child.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's a mom, dad, if they have kids, if they're gay. I look at what's inside of them, not on the outside.
You can be very young to very old. You can be single, you can be gay, you can be absolutely anything.
A family that would never give up on you, no matter what.
Whether you are unable to get pregnant, want to expand your family, or if your children are already grown up.
We have had quite a few families who are, sort of in the latter part of their life who are looking to continue to do that parenting.
I feel very special that they're my parents and that they adopted me.
You don't have to own a house. You don't have to be a stay-at-home parent. You don't have to be perfect.
Any demographic, any social class, it's really anyone who is willing to open their heart and really touch someone else's life. And the reward that they get from an adoption is really unsurpassed.
I can't tell you how happy I am, and my partner and I are now able to get married, and we were able legally to adopt a son. And my heart is full.
Being able to see the joy on the faces of the children being adopted and on the parents is something that's indescribable.
I'm just so happy. I'm so happy.
Daddy!
There's also an urgent need for foster parents.
Being a foster parent, you are taking care of children temporarily while we try to reunify the parents, the birth parents, with the children who are in foster care.
People often say, oh, I can't foster because I get too attached. What do you say to those people?
I was one of those people. We did that for 3-4 years. Just this weekend, one of the kids was here on vacation with her son. And they called Tio, and I'm still in their life, years and years later. I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world.
In fact, most who adopt from foster care were once foster parents first.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
An adoptive parent is someone who will have that child for life. That's their forever family. Their parental rights have been terminated.
I want the people to be like, I love this girl, this is my daughter.
I know there are those that worry that they could never feel the same way about an adoptive child as they can about their own biological child. And I can tell you that is just not true.
I found my forever family after 10 years. I look like my mom and I act like my dad.
That child will own your heart in ways you never imagined.
Is there something that you'd want to tell other people out there who've never considered adoption?
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
You'll find it in your hearts to help these kids, and you'll find it just lightens you up.
It's what they bring to you.
Yeah.
It's what they, everybody says, that they're so lucky, but we're the lucky ones.
Many people, when they think about adoption, they think internationally, oh, we'll go to China, we'll go to different countries. But like we said, there are kids right here in our neighborhood, in our back door, who have the same stories, who need families, who need homes.
And finding your way to a forever family is even easier than you may think.
There are so many incentives and benefits for folks that are willing to adopt from the child welfare system.
It's free to adopt out of foster care, so that's amazing.
While adopting from abroad can cost up to $50,000, there are little or no costs when adopting a child from foster care.
The biggest surprise is nothing came out of our pocket, but yet we got the benefit of having a child who we can love forever and who loves us forever.
In addition, medical expenses and even college tuition are paid for.
Do not have to pay for tuition with any state public
university, college, or vocational school.
And in many cases, there's also a monthly stipend to help with the child's day-to-day expenses. Plus, when adopting from the state, you receive the child's medical records, history, and whether or not they'd like to keep in connection with their biological family. Essentially, the whole adoption approval process can be completed in as little as 6 months.
They walked us through every appointment, every meeting, every attorney.
And it has been the most amazing journey that we've ever been on in our whole lives.
And on that journey, they realize that the children they help find their way home are simply that, children, like Jordan.
Usually hang out with my friends outside. We do sometimes dumb stuff, like normal kids.
We have many kids available in Broward County for adoption.
Like Delshawn.
What do you see yourself bringing to that family?
An NFL star.
Who we met recently on one of our Forever Family shoots.
He's self-motivated, and to have a family that wants to push someone really over the edge and just get a great young man into a great adult, that's all he needs, and he's going to be a very productive person in this world.
We have football players, we have academic scholars, we have poets, we have youth that, love all kinds of sports teams and also like to sing. We have artists, children who desire to play the guitar. So they're just like children who are not in foster care. They have likes and interests and hobbies, and they need a family to help encourage those hobbies and what they like to do. There's another side of them than just being in foster care.
But as you now know, it may take a while for these children to be cleared for adoption.
So we have a lot of older children available. Sometimes we do have some younger children that may be 3, 4, 5. They may have some medical needs because of what they've experienced in their life.
I was born hearing, and I was about 3 years old. My mom didn't take care of me, and I lost my hearing.
Remember, when you adopt from foster care, the state covers all medical expenses. And although Macy has a medical need, not all children labeled special needs do. The term special needs may simply refer to children who qualify for adoption assistance due to specific factors like being an older child, having a particular racial or ethnic background, a sibling group hoping to be adopted together, or a lesser medical or physical condition. Labels and a bio on a sheet of paper do not reflect who a child is.
And that's why the recruitment events are so important for families to come together and see where the connections are. Not just say, well, I want this, this, and this to fit my family. You have to say, what is my heart saying? What am I open to? And look at the connection that can be there, even when I didn't even know was there.
Especially when there are so many teenagers waiting.
There's moments in your life that defined you.
We were at a Christmas event, and Bradley had saw Justin.
We let Bradley down to go and sit, and he sat on the stairs exactly like Justin was sitting.
When they saw the connection between the two of them, the parents said, well, I guess we're adopting a teenager. It wasn't something that they thought they were going to do.
People think, oh my God, I don't want a teenager. But that sometimes they turn out to be the best and the most wonderful kids because they only want to be loved.
The misconception I think people really have is that they can't help. They're too old to help those teens. And that's when any teen will need the most help and the most support. A kid that is in foster care, they need it even more.
They may have a rough exterior. They may have developed coping mechanisms that are a little tough to break through at the outset. But in their hearts, these are good children who want nothing more than to be loved just like any other child.
Think about it. Even now, if you were removed from your family, friends, home, neighborhood, would you be angry, sad, frustrated, act out?
What would you like people to know about kids who are in care?
That we're nice kids. It's hard for us to trust people because of our past and what we've been through. We just have to find somebody to love us, and so we could return the love back.
Right.
And find somebody that we could trust in our life.
Stronger than most people think. I mean, we may not look like it, but we are.
The kids, they need to feel like they belong. They need to feel like someone cares about them. Someone, you know, would be there for them when they're at their highest point in life and when they're at their lowest.
Open your hearts to them, and they will open their hearts to you.
The system is far from perfect, but there are many trying to make it the best it can be for the lives they are responsible for. But ultimately, a system can't parent. That's up to individuals, you and me.
No kid should be considered a throwaway. Every kid has value. Every kid should have the same opportunities that we had, so they can become part of the American dream.
There are thousands of children still waiting to find their way home. There are thousands of children with dreams and hopes.
This is a life story. This is a life story.
Nothing's impossible for them to succeed, and no matter where they start doesn't determine their end.
I was a little girl, born in this bitter world.
As Hannah and Victorious write in their song.
Leading me into a new life, knowing that everything will be alright. Because now I am stronger, and I will no longer be down. I am free from everything that held me down.
I too am hopeful for the future, for a future where communities all over America will stand up for our children, open their hearts, and do their best to make sure every child in our country finds their way home, home to a forever family.
We love our forever family. To all of the other kids like that are either like up for adoption, you can never think that you're not going to be adopted. It might take a while, but really you are.
For more information on how you can start making that future a reality, log on to foreverfamily.org. Everyone can do something.
We will make it, and no one will never, ever change it, change it.
We love our forever family.
We are a forever family.
I love my mom.
Since Forever Family launched 14 years ago, we've helped children like these find loving adoptive homes. Join NBC6
In partnership with the Children's Services Council of Broward County,
as we bring you the stories of those who are still waiting,
to empower our South Florida children.
to share their hopes.
And beat the odds.
Watch Forever Family Fridays at 11:30 a.m. on 6 in the Mix.